Good evening, everyone. Mayor Tom Bartholomew here, and I welcome you to the State of the City address. On behalf of the council members, myself, and the staff, I welcome you to the chambers and look forward to working with you this year. First, a special thank you to our partner, Town Square Television, for producing this address. We appreciate all that you do to keep our residents informed. Today, we reflect on a very difficult year filled with extraordinary challenges, while we also look forward to a summer more like ones we remember, and to a brighter year ahead for our city. We cannot begin tonight without expressing our gratitude to the devoted, hardworking group of people who help run our city. Many of us experienced loss and sacrifice in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and our team at City Hall was no exception. Let's not forget, city government stayed open because of the work of our staff members. Thanks to all who kept going the extra mile, especially those in police, fire, streets, utilities, parks and recreation, and building inspection division, and our office support personnel. Many of you did not have the option of working remotely, and you put your health and safety at risk during the pandemic to keep our essential city services operating. Thank you. Much has happened in Inver Grove Heights in the past year. Last November, we saw a record voter turnout with our council members running impressive races that brought fresh insight and perspective. We welcome new council members Sue Gleva, John Murphy, as they begin their service. 2020 was a tough year economically for most cities, including Inver Grove Heights. Many of us were challenged. Some of our residents struggled with unemployment, food and housing insecurity, and a loss of revenue for their small businesses. Many also struggled physically and psychologically with illness, grief, civil unrest, and important issues around racial equity and justice. We experienced a year unlike any other. We learned we had tremendous resilience, compassion for our neighbors, and a great capacity for success and growth as a community. Despite a loss of revenue for the city due to the pandemic, we accomplished many positive things. We received $2.6 million in federal CARES Act funding to improve the health of the city's balance sheet and to offset some of our COVID-related expenses. Inver Grove Heights Economic Development Authority, along with Dakota County, distributed over $300,000 in grant money to local small businesses and nonprofits, which are both vital economic engines for Inver Grove Heights. The city has also supported local restaurants by easing limits on outdoor dining and service in light of statewide COVID restrictions. Our city divisions were successful as well despite obstacles in staffing transitions. Our Public Works Department saw the busiest construction season on record, with $45 million in projects including 21 planning and design studies, 10 private infrastructure construction projects, and 13 construction projects. Public Works and engineering activity will continue at an increased pace in 2021 as the city seeks to finance additional construction and infrastructure projects. This will all take place while we search for a new Public Works director. Our Finance Department had a very busy year complying with the CARES Act requirements. Amy Hove, our Finance Director, successfully refinanced bonds to save an estimated $100,000 over the lifetime. It should be noted that even in the face of extreme staff shortages and aged software, the Finance Department continues to garner the highest possible bond rating for a municipality. This is important because it saves our city money and interest when we borrow. And we are recognized again this year by Government Accounting Standards Board for excellence in financial reporting. Our finance team maintained the strong customer service standards for our residents throughout the pandemic, despite closing and stay-at-home orders. The Community Development Department, under the direction of Heather Rand, who should be noted is also serving as our interim city administrator, provided an exceptionally high level of customer service throughout 2020. The pandemic meant planning and certain building inspection services, such as construction permit applications and plan reviews with real estate developers, had to be provided online or remotely. The Construction Permits Division saw increased demand for residents updating their homes, as well as continued growth in office and warehouse businesses, notably along Highway 55. While the value and number of construction permits were similar to 2019, a record number of building inspections were conducted citywide to ensure construction safety standards. Our Parks and Recreation Department should be commended for all they had done to implement and maintain COVID safety measures at our Parks and Community Center. Their extraordinary efforts kept our community healthier. The Parks and Rec team worked tirelessly to offer creative outdoor and virtual programs to meet the needs of our residents and bring some hope during the months of stay-at-home orders. The VMCC held COVID-safe outdoor special events that drew hundreds of cars, and we know that the holidays were made a little brighter for our kids because of our staff. Parks and Rec revenue was down in 2020. This was due to restrictions on activities and the use of the National Guard Gymnasium for COVID testing instead of rec programming. Despite these challenges, and amid department leadership changes, we successfully acquired land and began developing a highly anticipated new park in the Northwest area. In 2021, the city will work with Northwest Neighborhood to help develop the plans for this park. We will also continue searching for new park and rec director. Your dedicated firefighters, both volunteer, on-call, and full-time, deserve high praise for their response once COVID began. With many unknowns, they continued to respond to a record number of emergency calls, providing much-needed medical care to our residents. In addition, our firefighters continued to train for and plan for civil unrest after they were called to assist with arson fires in St. Paul. Our new state-of-the-art fire station, number 2, was opened on a 24/7 basis last year. This is a milestone achieved for the Inver Grove Heights Fire and is a valuable benefit to our community. The new fire station does 3 important things. It improves our call response times, it lowers insurance rates for those in the southern half of our city, and it provides an on-site training for fire personnel. Last year, our fire department gave back by gathering masks for the community, and we celebrated the first ever all-female shift crew in our fire department's history. In 2021, we'll work with Chief Thill to find ways to improve our other aging firehouses and to meet increasing demands for fire personnel as our city grows. The Inver Grove Heights Police Department should be applauded for their service this past year. Despite spending much of the year in a state of emergency, officers found time to volunteer to clean up City Hall grounds on Earth Day and to hold events to bring the Vital Apps, a communication tool that connects vulnerable residents with first responders, to more members of our community. 2020 certainly highlighted the importance of both physical and mental health for our officers. Our police department had an innovative response to this. They created a workout space for personnel at no cost to the taxpayers. Our police department continues to encourage peer-to-peer support and other programs that bolster mental health. Last summer, through this spring, Chief Chido led our police department and coordinated very effectively with agencies throughout the region, which helped keep our residents and businesses safe during the civil unrest in the Twin Cities. This month, Inver Grove Heights Police Department held their first police open house, a fun outdoor event for residents during National Police Week. City administration saw significant advances in 2020. We hired a new city clerk, Rebecca Kiernan, and City Council approved his first comprehensive communication plan. For the first time, the city has standardized branding, a new logo, and a new domain name, ighmn.gov. Our IT and communication division worked closely together to revamp the city's website to make it easier for residents to use. And those 2 divisions should also be recognized for their efforts meeting the challenging technology and communication needs for our council, city staff, residents, and public meetings during the pandemic. All in all, 2020 was a year of adapting and transitioning and leading during crisis. Now new work can begin and a vision for our city can start to emerge. This year, city leadership will prioritize infrastructure, which is essential to sustainable growth and for attracting new business and economic opportunity to our area. To that end, our legislative agenda will focus on developing 117th Street into a major industrial and commuter route for the region. Housing inventory will continue to grow in Inver Grove Heights in 2021, particularly in the northwest area of our city, where new single-family housing is being built. This year, we will explore, along with other counterparts in state, county government, and City of Eagan, the feasibility of a U.S. amateur sports and training facility coming to our area. Another project we should note is the Dakota County Safety and Mental Health Alternative Response Training Center, the SMART Center. This facility trains law enforcement from around the state in de-escalation and crisis response techniques, and it will open next to our fire station on Courthouse Boulevard. We recognize that there's also room in our agenda for strengthening ties to our community, for strengthening the relationship between our residents, businesses, and city leadership. Our services are designed to serve and to improve the lives of everyone who lives here. We as city leadership want to hear from each of you and want to learn more about what matters most to you. We invite you to get to know your city government. Engage with us, contact us, become involved with the issues that affect your community. Attend our meetings and events. Apply to join city advisory commissions. Follow us on social media. There are many ways to participate. We're delighted to see a high level of engagement in last year's election, and I hope this engagement continues. It is a level of community involvement that will unify and move our city forward. Working together, we can effectively solve problems, forge a prosperous path, and be ready to welcome new residents to the city we love. As city leaders, we are optimistic about the present and the future of Inver Grove Heights, and I look forward to working with all of you to shape it. Thank you for listening. I wish you all a healthy and successful year round. I want to thank the staff. I want to thank all the residents and businesses of Inver Grove Heights for your patience and your hard work during this past year. Thank you.